My mom raised her glass to my sister's 300-guest wedding and asked me, "When's it your turn to start a life? You know, properly." I looked at her and answered, "I've been married for 8 months. You were invited, but your favorite daughter threw it in the trash." The silence that followed could have shattered crystal. You ever wonder how long you can be invisible to the people who are supposed to love you most? How many times you can be erased before you finally say enough? I'm Isabel Harris, née Thompson, 29 years old, landscape architect living in Houston, Texas. And I'm about to tell you how I burned down my family's entire world using nothing but the truth. The Thompson estate in Atlanta looks like something out of a magazine spread, all white columns and boxwood hedges, and that perfectly curved driveway I designed 3 years ago. December cold bit at my face as I stood on the front steps, staring at the massive oak doors. My stomach felt hollow. Mom opened the door wearing cream cashmere and her professional smile. "Isabel, you're here. Not you're finally here or we've missed you. Just an observation." The living room smelled like cinnamon and expensive candles. Michelle sat on the white sofa in a dress that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage, phone in hand, filming something. Always performing. She looked up when I entered, and her smile was sharp enough to draw blood. "Belle, you made it." She jumped up, pulling me into a hug that felt like being embraced by a mannequin. "We have so much to catch up on. Come sit. I got you something." The gift sat on the coffee table, wrapped in rose gold paper with a white silk bow. The kind of presentation that takes effort, which somehow made what was inside so much worse. "Open it now," Michelle said, phone angled to capture my reaction. Mom and Dad had materialized, both watching with that strange half-attention they always gave me. I pulled the ribbon, peeled back the paper, lifted the lid. Inside, a 12-month premium membership to a dating app. The kind that costs $300. Underneath that, a book. "Embracing Your Single Years, a guide for women over 30. The room went quiet except for the crackling gas fireplace. Michelle's voice dripped with concern, the kind that's really performance art. "I worry about you, Belle. You're almost 30. You spend so much time alone with your plants and your blueprints. I want you to be happy. To find someone. Before it's, too late." My hands were shaking. I set the box down carefully on the glass coffee table. "That's very thoughtful," I said. My voice came out steady, flat. "Very thoughtful indeed." Mom was nodding. "Michelle's right to be concerned. You've always been so independent, Isabel. So focused on your career. But career isn't everything. Family is what matters." "Speaking of family," Michelle said brightly, "Michael's coming for dinner with his dad. You remember Michael, right? My fiancé." She held up her left hand, showing off a ring that could probably fund a small nation. "We're announcing the wedding date tonight. June 15th. We're planning for 300 guests." I couldn't breathe right. My chest felt tight. I remember my wedding day with the kind of detail that feels like punishment. April 14th, 8 months ago. I spent 3 weeks hand-selecting cardstock, this specific shade of cream with actual texture. I tied each invitation with velvet ribbon, forest green. Because Mom mentioned once, maybe 7 years ago, that she thought green was elegant for winter events. I painted tiny daisies on the welcome signs because Mom used to pick daisies from the yard when I was 6 and put them in a mason jar on the kitchen counter. The invitations went out March 1st, 6 weeks' notice. Formal. Traditional. I included a handwritten note in Mom and Dad's invitation. "Please come. This means everything to me. Love, Isabel." Eric asked me 3 times if I wanted to call them. "Just to make sure they got it," he said. "Just to be safe." I told him they'd come. They wouldn't miss their daughter's wedding. What kind of parents miss their daughter's wedding? I remember standing in the bridal suite, looking out at the rows of bare grapevines, at the string lights we'd hung, at the arch I'd decorated with eucalyptus and white roses. I remember thinking it was perfect. I remember walking down the aisle, Eric's mom on one side, his dad on the other, and seeing those 2 empty chairs in the front row. Reserved. Waiting for people who didn't come. We held the ceremony for 30 minutes past start time, just in case they were running late. Just in case they'd come. They didn't. Dinner was served at 7 p.m. sharp. The dining room table could seat 14, but tonight held 8, Mom and Dad at the heads, Michelle and Michael on one side, Michael's father David beside them, and me alone on the other side. The table settings were crystal and china and linen napkins. Michael was handsome in that lawyer way. Sharp suit, sharp jaw. He kept his hand on Michelle's, kept smiling at her like she'd hung the moon. David Brown sat stiff and formal, business partner to my father. Mom stood with her wine glass. I want to make a toast. To Michelle and Michael. Watching you two find each other has been one of the great joys of my life. Michelle, you've always known your worth. Always demanded the best. And Michael, you're everything we could have hoped for our daughter. June 15th can't come soon enough. Everyone drank. Everyone smiled. Then Mom turned to me. And Isabel, sweetheart, when is it going to be your turn? You're 29 now. Time is, well, it's something to consider. My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. My stomach dropped. I mean, we worry, Mom continued. You're so isolated in Houston. So focused on your work. A woman needs more than a career, honey. Properly settled, Dad added. Not just living somewhere. Settled. The word properly landed on my skin like a slap. Michelle leaned forward, eyes wide. I'm honestly worried about you, Belle. Do you even date? Or are you just planning to live with your plants forever? David was watching me with cool assessment. This was a show for him, I realized. Michelle's perfect family. I set down my fork. Carefully. My hands wanted to shake, but I wouldn't let them. I'm married, I said. The silence was immediate. Complete. Mom's wine glass stopped halfway to her lips. Dad's knife froze mid-cut. Michelle's mouth opened slightly, eyes going wide. What? Mom's voice was barely above a whisper. I'm married, I repeated. Louder this time. I got married 8 months ago. April 14th. His name is Eric Harris. He's a senior cybersecurity analyst. We live in Houston together. The silence stretched. Heavy. Thick silence. Then Mom laughed. Actually laughed. Isabel, that's not funny. I'm not joking. You're lying. Mom set down her wine glass hard enough that crystal rang against wood. You're lying right now. At Christmas dinner. In front of company. Why would I lie about being married? For attention, Michelle said immediately. You can't stand that tonight is about me. About my engagement. This is pathetic, Belle. Even for you. I sent you invitations, I said. All of you. 6 weeks before the wedding. We never received any invitations, Dad said. His voice had gone cold. Business voice. The one he uses when someone's trying to con him. If you got married, why didn't you call us? Why didn't you tell us directly? I did call. 4 times before the wedding. No one answered. I left voicemails. We never received voicemails, Mom said flatly. You're making this up, Michelle said. She'd stood now, arms crossed. You're jealous. You see me happy, engaged to an actual person, and you can't handle it. So you invent this fantasy marriage. I have a marriage certificate. Then show us, Dad demanded. I pulled out my phone. Opened the folder labeled wedding receipts. The marriage certificate was first. Registered with Harris County, Texas. I held it up. Dad leaned forward, squinting. That could be faked, Michelle said immediately. Anyone can edit a document digitally. Are you serious right now? My voice cracked. Actually cracked. You think I faked a marriage certificate? I think you're desperate, Michelle said. And desperate people do desperate things. Mom's face had gone carefully blank. Isabel, if you truly got married, the appropriate thing would have been to call us. To tell us directly. I did call you. 4 times. I left voicemails. I sent a formal invitation. I sent 17 emails. You ignored all of it. We're not accusing you of anything, Dad said. We're just confused about why we weren't informed. They're not accusations. They're facts. You're embarrassing yourself, Dad said quietly. And you're embarrassing this family. In front of David. In front of Michael. I looked around the table. At Mom's closed expression. At Dad's cold eyes. At Michelle's performance of betrayed hurt. At Michael looking uncomfortable. At David watching with that calculating attention. And I understood. They didn't forget. They're gaslighting me. Right now. In front of witnesses. Rewriting history while I sit here holding the receipts they don't know exist yet. Something in my chest, something that had been bending for 29 years, finally snapped. I pulled out my phone again. Typed a single word to Eric. Now. What are you doing? Michelle demanded. Providing proof, I said. You want evidence? Let me introduce you to my husband. I set my phone on the table. Eric's face appeared via video call. He was in our home office, wearing his university hoodie. Hey, baby, he said. Ready. Ready. Who is this? Mom demanded. This is Eric Harris. My husband. Senior cybersecurity analyst. I looked at Michelle pointedly. Eric has a very specific set of skills. Eric's fingers moved across his keyboard. On the massive TV mounted on the dining room wall, the one I'd specified during the renovation, the screen flickered to life. Remote desktop access. System files. Folder structures. What is this? Dad's voice had an edge now. Uncertain. This, I said, standing walking to the TV, is the complete security system for this house. Every camera. Every recording. When I designed the electrical system for this estate, I maintained administrative access. You're hacking our system, Michelle said. No. I'm accessing a system I designed. Everything you're about to see was captured by cameras you all knew about. This is completely legal. There are 14 cameras in this house, I continued. 4 exterior, 10 interior. All recording with 2-year retention. Motion activated. Time-stamped. Isabel, Mom started. I have footage from March 1st, I said. The day the invitations were delivered. Would you like to see it? Eric's voice came through my phone speaker. Pulling up courier tracking first. The TV screen changed. Shipping receipt. Tracking number. Delivery confirmation. Package delivered March 1st, 2:47 p.m. Signature required. Signature on file M. Thompson. Michelle's face had gone rigid. I sign for packages all the time. We have video. But first, I looked at Mom. Did you receive any emails from me between March and April? About the wedding? No, Mom said automatically. That's strange. Because I sent 17 emails. You didn't respond to a single one. My throat was tight. But you never received them. Eric, I said. The screen changed again. Mom's email account. Inbox settings. Filter rules. 1 filter. Created March 1st, 2:51 p.m. Filter name, wedding block. Conditions. From Isabel Thompson. Subject or body contains. Wedding, married, ceremony, invitation, April 14th. Action. Delete permanently. Created from Michelle's laptop. The silence was deafening now. You installed a filter on Mom's email, I said to Michelle. My voice was shaking now, too. You signed for my invitations. And 4 minutes later, you made sure Mom would never see any emails about the wedding. I was protecting them, Michelle said. You were planning this shabby vineyard wedding. It would have embarrassed them. I saved them from having to tell you no. She'd found her angle. Her reframe. I did it out of love, Michelle continued. You know how she is. She'd have made it into this whole thing about favoritism. I was protecting everyone. Mom was nodding slowly. Michelle, you should have told us, but nothing, I said. She's lying. And I can prove it. If you were protecting them, why did you throw the invitations in the recycling bin without ever opening them? Michelle's face went very still. Play the video, Eric. The TV screen shifted. Security footage. Front entrance. March 1st timestamp. 2:47 p.m. Michelle walks into frame. Delivery driver hands her the tablet. She signs, takes the package. Michelle stands there, looking at the package. Return address clearly visible. Her face changes. I watched it happen. She reads my name and understands exactly what she's holding. She doesn't look confused. She doesn't look protective. She looks furious. Her jaw clenches. Her eyes go hard. And then, without opening it, without hesitation, she walks directly to the recycling bin, opens the lid, drops the package inside, walks away. Total elapsed time, 47 seconds. That does not look like protection. That looks like sabotage. Michael had gone very quiet. He was staring at Michelle like he'd never seen her before. Belle, Michelle started. You don't understand what it's like to be responsible for this family's image. It was my wedding, I said. My voice broke. It was my wedding day, Michelle. And you stole it from me. That's not, I would never. But her voice was cracking, breaking. The performance finally collapsing. David Brown was standing now. Michael. We're leaving. Dad, wait, Michael said, but he was already removing the engagement ring from Michelle's hand. She grabbed for it, but he stepped back, placing the ring carefully on the white tablecloth with deliberate finality. You're a monster, Michael said quietly. I don't know you at all. Michael, please. There's nothing to explain. His voice was flat. I watched you throw away your sister's wedding invitations. I watched you lie about it. David was already walking toward the foyer. Robert, consider our merger canceled. The paperwork will be on your lawyer's desk Monday morning. Dad stood so fast his chair scraped. $50 million deal, David. And in 18 months you never mentioned you had 2 daughters. David's voice was ice. They were gone. Front door closing with expensive solidity. Engine starting. Gravel crunching under tires. The dining room felt like a tomb. Michelle turned on me. I hate you. You ruined my life. I told the truth. I'm calling my publicist. I'm telling my followers exactly what kind of person you are. 2 million people. I pulled up something else on my phone. Title 18, Section 1708. Theft of stolen mail. Federal crime. Up to 5 years in prison. I looked up at her. You stole mail addressed to our parents. If you say one word about me publicly, I will file a police report. I will provide this footage to federal investigators. And I'll send a breakdown of your mail tampering to every brand sponsor you work with. The sound that came out of her wasn't quite a sob. Wasn't quite a scream. Isabel. Mom's voice was shaking. Please, we can fix this. No, I said. We can't. I picked up the gift box from the coffee table, the dating app membership, the book. I walked back to the dining room, set it down in front of Michelle. You're going to need this more than I will. Then I walked out. Through the dining room, through the foyer, past the curved staircase, out the massive oak doors. The December air hit my face. Sharp. Clean. Mom was calling my name from the doorway. Isabel. Wait. I didn't turn around. My phone rang. Eric. I'm coming home, I said. I know, baby. Mom's heating up soup. I stood at the end of the driveway. Looked back once at the estate. Every window blazing with light. Beautiful shell with nothing living inside. As I walked away, I felt it. The chains I'd been dragging around for 29 years. The ones labeled good daughter and second best. They were gone. 3 days after Christmas, a courier envelope arrived at my door. Inside, a check for $50,000 from my father. The note was brief. Please don't mention the canceled contract. This should help with your expenses. I stood in my kitchen and looked at that check for exactly 30 seconds. Then I tore it into pieces. Small pieces. I arranged them on the counter. Took a photo. Opened the family group chat. Posted the photo of the torn check. Typed one message. Consider this my gift to you. Your silence is free. But so is mine. Do not contact me again. Then I left the group. Permanently. Eric found me sitting on the kitchen floor, crying. Not sad crying. The kind that happens when something heavy finally gets put down. You okay? He asked. I'm free, I said. New Year's Eve, we flew to Detroit. To Eric's parents' house. His mom pulled me into a hug that smelled like cocoa butter and actually meant something. His dad made his jokes. His sister showed me photos from her new apartment. At midnight, surrounded by chaos and laughter and genuine warmth, Eric kissed me. Happy New Year, Mrs. Harris. I looked around at the people who chose to love me. Isabel Harris, architect of landscapes, and now, finally, architect of my own life. I cleared the weeds. I burned out the rot. And here, in this garden I chose, something real is growing. Did you enjoy the story? If so, hit like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe. Thanks for watching Revenge with Keisha. See you next time.